You've been told that positive reinforcement is the only way. So you've got plenty of treats, you're rewarding every good behaviour, but your gundog is still not listening, and you are absolutely exhausted. The problem isn't the treats. The problem is you're only saying yes. You need to say no too. And once you understand why, everything changes. Train with treats alone and you're only half the conversation. Your dog is going to learn what gets rewarded, but they don't learn what doesn't. They don't learn the boundaries. High drive gundogs especially, they can be intense. They're smart. If you only ever say yes, they figure out how to work you. They're going to test every boundary. They're going to make their own rules because you haven't given them any. I've had clients come to me after working with positive only trainers. They've got dogs that know a bunch of commands, but the dogs are still out of control, still pulling, still not listening when it matters because the dog never learned what no means. This little guy right here is a foster. 9 homes this guy's had. Yeah, you heard that right, 9 homes. And every single one of them only said yes. Or just avoided everything. They only used positive reinforcement. No boundaries, no consequences. And you know where he was headed? Euthanasia. Because nobody could manage him. But when he came to us, we completely changed the approach. We said yes to good behaviour, but we also said no. Pack it in. Clear, direct, no negotiation. The ability to say no absolutely transformed him. He went from unmanageable and aggressive to a dog that, you actually wanted to live with. And that is what boundaries do. The best way, in my opinion, is a balanced approach. Yes and no. The ability to reward, but also add consequence. When your dog does something you want, they get rewarded, and that's clear. When they do something you don't want, there's a consequence, also clear. Your dog learns the rules, both of them. High energy and high drive gundogs especially need this. They need to know what's acceptable and what isn't. Without that clarity, they're constantly testing and constantly pushing. And it's going to end up being exhausting for you, equally as it's going to end up being confusing for them. And here's the thing, once your dog actually understands the boundaries, they get more freedom, not less. A dog that knows the rules can be off lead, can be around guests, can be trusted, but a dog that's only ever been rewarded and never corrected, that is a liability in my opinion. The ability to say no is faster too. You don't have to manage every single moment. You're not gonna need to have treats on you constantly. You can just say pack it in and your dog stops. That is way less stressful for everyone. Now for me, I do always lead with positive reinforcement because most of the time, our dogs do actually need to learn what is the desirable outcome first before we jump straight into actually telling them what they cannot do. So it's very important that we lead with positive reinforcement to teach the dog what it is that we do want, but when they are then presented with that situation, they're going to have a choice. Either do the thing that I do want, or if you are to get it wrong, there is of course going to be a consequence for getting it wrong. Now, a lot of people do use punishment incorrectly. Unfortunately, if you just lead with punishment and you constantly keep correcting a dog for getting things wrong, chances are that's going to not only cause a massive detriment to your relationship with your dog, but you're going to be massively confusing them as well. That's just going to lead to a dog that is shut down and not very happy, and their world is going to be very, very small. Whereas for me, all the fun stuff comes first. We communicate to the dog, we build a relationship, we get that clarity and communication straight off the bat, which then makes the process significantly easier to work through. If you can tell your dog yes, but you can also tell them no, they are going to be so much more better off. Trust me on that.